Hello guys, and welcome back to Doji Gaming. Di sini rancak, di sana rancak, berdosa. Oh, okay. So hari ni kita akan sambung main game Our Life Beginnings and Always for part 2. So siapa-siapa yang belum tengok part 1, korang boleh check it out video part 1. Tapi sebenarnya video part 1 tu dia just video gaming saja. Aku just main saja. So aku tak bercakap, aku tak ada interact dengan korang. So aku decide untuk part 2 ni kita akan interact dan kita akan main bersama. So aku rasa lebih nice lah. Dan korang pun taklah boring sangat tengok kan. Bila aku tengok je kan. Okay. So part 2 and seterusnya ni mungkin kita akan main sama-sama dan kita akan go through game ni sama-sama. Dan pada yang tak tahu lah, sebenarnya game Our Life ni dia adalah game novel tau. Dia game novel yang di mana korang boleh interact dan korang boleh tentukan jalan cerita sendiri. Itu yang menariknya dekat game macam ni. So game ni pun dia ada 3 bahagian lah sebenarnya. So aku terangkan sikit lah, because part 1 tu aku tak ada bercakap sangat. So part 2 ni aku akan terangkan sikit sebelum kita start. Dia ada 3 bahagian, which is childhood, zaman sekolah kalau tak silap, and then zaman remaja, teenager diorang. So sekarang ni part 2 ni, so baru lagi bermula daripada zaman childhood. So aku rasa okay lah kalau kita nak go through sama-sama kan. So jangan lupa, siapa yang belum check out part 1, korang boleh tengok dulu part 1, sebab part 1 tu just intro, pengenalan untuk game ni saja. So tak banyak pun yang korang tertinggal. So just tengok part 1 and then korang boleh continue dengan part 2 dan seterusnya lah nanti. Okay. Alright, sebelum kita start, aku harap korang semua boleh show pula. Korang boleh tunjuk sikit support dengan like, share dan subscribe channel Doja Gaming ni. So lagi satu, jangan lupa tekan notification button untuk korang dapatkan update video-video terbaru daripada Doja Gaming. Alright. So bismillahirrahmanirrahim, kita sambung. Right. So sekarang ni moment select lah, sebab daripada ni sambungan daripada part 1 tu. So part 1 tu dia adalah jalan-jalan cerita dia apa semua, and then sampailah ke moment select ni. Sebab aku tak silap aku, masa mula-mula tu dia ada cakap memang untuk zaman childhood ada 5 step. Zaman sekolah tu 5 step, 5 moment. Dan zaman sekolah pun 5 moment, dan teenager pun 5 moment. Okay. So yang DLC ni aku rasa kita kena download DLC, dan mungkin berbayar tak silap aku. Tapi tak apa, kita go through yang ni dulu. Kalau agak-agak kita nak pergi ke DLC, nanti kita akan try pergi DLC lah. Right. So tanpa buang masa guys, kita try, kita pergi shopping. Alright, let's go. Come back before it gets dark. Alright, Spot. The familiar voice drifted across the street and drew your attention away from the snail you'd been watching inch slowly across the pavement. Apa benda tengok siput? Cough wait in front of his dad, pushing his green hair back off his face from where the breeze was blowing it over his glasses. He looked to be paying only a mild amount of attention as he was being handed a few slips of green paper. It reminded you of when you first met Mr. Holden, although he is probably not paying cough to be friend with himself. Okay, sebenarnya masa part 1 tu, kalau kau perasan, yang ini sebenarnya adalah jiran baru untuk karakter aku. So diorang ni baru pindah sini, and then masa satu hari tu aku balik, bapak dia ni nak bayar aku untuk berkawan dengan anak dia ni. Anak ni rambut hijau ni lah, nama anak dia ni Kof. Right. Cough that seemed to feel your gaze somehow. Or maybe you made a noise, because a second later his eyes were on you. He waved you over with a smile. He looked happy to see you, but you still felt a little weird for getting caught. You've got to learn how to be more sneaky. You brush your hands together to free them on sand, then jog over to join the two.
How's it going?
Good to see you again. What excitement are you up to today, Jamie? Jamie tu which is aku lah. Nama penuh aku dalam ni adalah Jamie Doje. So jangan judge lah kenapa Doje kan. Stuff. I found a really cool snail across the road. He was slimy, with funny eyes and a nice shell. Mr. Holden grin at your E2C of awesome. Sorry guys, aku punya English tak adalah power, tak adalah lemah sangat, tapi boleh lah. After you finish answering the question, Mr. Holden's attention returned to Cove, who was preoccupied with folding the bills he had into a tiny rectangle. Sound fun, you know. Cove was about to hit the store by the beach. Why don't you go with him? Oh, so bapak dia suruh aku pergi pantai dengan si budak rambut hijau ni. You shocked. Cove was the process of making a similar motion. You didn't have anything else to do, and you had been to the store in a few days. Maybe there was something new to look at. Maybe is that okay? So aku rasa kita nak pergi ke mall lah ni.
I guess.
I was going by myself, but I guess it is. You don't have to. Belagak ni rambut hijau ni. Great. I'm sure you guys will have a lot of fun. Right. Mr. Holden reached into his pocket and pulled out a leather wallet filled with money. You found it odd, since your mom's only ever seems to have cards in there. Oh, so means bapak dia ni old school lah. Bapak dia mungkin tak tahu sekarang dah ada debit. Here. He leaned in to pass a crib stand to Cove, giving him a wink and whisper, RM10 dia bagi. Get something for your friend too. RM10. Beli apa dapat? Sure. Ikhlas tak ikhlas? That's my boy. Cove dad roughed his son hair as he was straightening back up. The bill in his hand still held out towards the green-haired boy. Take care. Cove accepted the bill after a second and slipped into his pocket. Then with one last nod to his dad, he returned and started walking. You followed him, intrigued at the possibilities that outing might bring. Cove strayed towards the gentle tide creeping up the sand, and you fell into place beside him. It was a nice day. The sun was shining, and there weren't many clouds in the sky, though the wind coming off the ocean kept it from being too hot. You took in a deep breath, enjoying the scent of salt and ocean air. When you looked at Cove, he was dragging his feet through the sand a little, and you slowed down to wait for him. Okay, sebenarnya si Cove ni dia ada masalah tau masa dia pindah ni. Dia pindah ke sini sebab dia ada masalah. So masa aku jumpa dia pun dia tengah menangis sebenarnya. So kalau kau nak tahu, kau check it out part 1 Alright, continue. His eyes searched for the ground intently. Are you looking for snail? Are you looking for shell? What it is? You didn't feel. So kau rasa macam mana? Aku rasa macam buat lawak sikit lah. Kau cari siput ke? Cove look at you, wrinkling his nose. Who would want something like that? Belagaknya dia ni. You felt the urge to defend the activity you've been indulging in only a short while ago. A lot of people. No way, they're weird, and you can take them anyway cause they are bugs. You have to leave them alone. Cove chuckled to himself, and that ended the discussion. He can think what he wants, and you'll think your own things. So apa guna kita lepak tepi pantai tapi kau macam tak apa. The comforting sound of the waves filled the silence with pleasant white noise, and you played a little game with yourself as you walk along, getting as close to the water as possible without getting wet. Kalau aku dah terjun berenang dah. It resulted in you having to run up the sand quickly when a wave rushed in. More than a few times, and although Cove threw a few glances your way, he didn't say a word. Aku rasa dia ni introvert kot. What do you want to go to the shop for? What do you ni lah. I need a new sand pail. Yeah, what happened to your old one? Cove narrowed his eyes, seeming to think deeply for a second.
Wow.
It disappeared. What? Really? Cove ducked his head down, lacing his fingers behind his back, and it didn't seem like he was going to continue. So you nudged his arm. How did that happen? Well, Cough opened his mouth then shut it again, considering. I took it to the beach one day. When I got home, it wasn't anywhere. You left it there? Nope, it wasn't at the beach when I went back. Then you lost it. It disappeared. You lost it. It disappeared. You lost it. It disappeared. What about you? What do you want out here? I don't come to the beach a lot. I like swimming. I like looking at fish. I like to build a sandcastle. I like to build a sandcastle. Last summer, Lizzie and I built one that was Last summer, Lizzie and I built one that was as tall as me, and sometimes they have sandcastle building competition down by the boardwalk. Cool, I bet you could win. You smile at Cove. Maybe the two of you build one together one day. Once you reach the shopping area, the noise level grew exponentially. No longer just wave and footsteps, but the chatter of people enjoying the lovely summer day, the call of birds trying to find bits of food left behind, and lot of sale people trying to get attention. You sniff the air as you walk beside Cove. You could still smell the ocean, but there were other scents now too. Pizza, pretzel, hot donuts. It's nice, it's not very nice. Alright, it's nice lah. Kalau aku tepi pantai, ada angin sepoi-sepoi, ada bau pizza kan, dia macam ada satu vibe yang menarik lah. The energy surrounding the area seemed to fill you, and there was a bounce in your step as you began looking at all the familiar sight. There were so many things to do, you didn't know where to begin. You looked at Cove, hoping he was just excited as you were. Cove was glancing from one side of the street to the other with a look in his aquamarine eyes that you couldn't quite work up. What's that? Cove pointed to the large crowd of people gathered near a few tables with large colorful umbrellas blooming from their middles. You couldn't see past the adult who were blocking the way, but you knew there must be something worth seeing. Ya, ramai-ramai kan. Tanya apa benda. Without another word, the two of you hurried over to see what all the commotion was about. Feast your eyes and the amazing Alexander. In the center of the crowd was a man with a tall hat, a funny green coat that had three long tails. There was a little table next to him with a cloth hanging over. In the read, the amazing Alexander, a glittery golden script. Why tell people his name if it's already on a sign? Cough humid with understanding, then turned to walk away. Just the amazing Alexander began shuffling a deck of cards. Aku rasa dia ni macam memang ada masalah lah. Dia manjang nak merajuk, depress. Aku kalau dapat member macam ni pun terai kat pujuk lah mula-mula. Tapi kalau dah selalu sangat pun geram kat kan. Right, I want to see the show. Cove glanced back at the man. He then briefly lifted his arm up of his side before returning them to place. Okay. He may not be impressed, but at least he didn't ditch you. Bagus kat dia ni. Walaupun dia tak suka, tapi dia tak tinggalkan kau lah. You grinned, waving for him to follow you as you raced back to stand in the crowd. What that it began. The magic man pulled one card out of the deck, showing it to the curious onlookers. It was a 4 of diamonds. Watch closely. You did, squeezing through a few of the adult onlookers to get a better view. Suddenly, the man snapped his finger and the card just disappeared. Wow! ... The amazing Alexander, who had earned his title, turned his head and looked directly at you. He reached out with a kind smile. What is behind your ear? You back away. Aku macam pusing. Apa benda aku pusing belakang It wasn't enough to deter him, and the crowd of people gathered behind you made it impossible to move any further. He smelled like popcorn and candy when he stepped closer, and you swallowed anxiously. betul lah aku sebut. You felt a tug, and then he pulled the four of diamond out from behind your ear. Macam nak sebut. You know that it couldn't really have come from your ear, but you still didn't get how he done it. There was a light applause from the crowd, and the man gave a deep bow. This is for you. The magician plucked a pair of balloons from a clump of them tied down to his table. Both were in the shape of a dolphin instead of being a normal circle. Dia bagi balon yang ada bentuk, bukan balon bulat biasa tu kan, dia bagi balon yang ada gambar dolphin. And one for your friend too. Thank you for being my assistant. Budak yang tak minat ni pun dapat. Wow. Now you were really grateful he chose you. After that, he went to someone else in the crowd. Pick a card, any card. My uncle does that every time he visits. Not the balloons, the stuff with cards. So Pakcik Kof ni selalu buat magic lah. So okay. So dia patutlah dia macam tak surprise, dia tak terkejut, selalu tengok pakcik dia buat. Alright. Kof spoke plainly while reaching over to take the dolphin that had been designed for him. Kof is ruining the fun lah. Aku pun tak tahu. Maybe it wasn't so special. At least you had a fun time. You wondered Kof whole family was a magic. Tak, bukan good. At least you had a fun time. You saw a magic trick and you got a great balloon. That was more than enough to make a worthwhile event. You thought that if you could find a card to practice with, maybe you could make it disappear too. Apa kata kau belajar magic daripada kau asyik nak mengajuk, kan? The crowd started to clear some, and you noticed that the side there was a whole rack of brightly coloured kaleidoscope on display. Apa benda kaleidoscope ni? You pick up a kaleidoscope. Kaleidoscope ni apa weh? You pick up a Rubik cube. You pick up a magic 8 ball. You walk past the toys. Mana boleh. Aku kalau kecil-kecil lu nampak toys, kalau boleh ambil aku ambil. Tapi aku tak tahu kaleidoscope ni apa benda. Kaleidoscope. Tak apalah, aku ambil. Try lah ambil. Oh Kof, check it out. You shifted your balloon string to your other hand so you could bring the mysterious tunnel to your eyes. Oh, okay. A whole palette of color appeared right in front of you, spinning it all the kind different shape as you twisted the end of the tube. Oh, aku tahu yang bila kita tengok, kita pusing dalam tu, dia macam ada corak-corak yang color-color tu. Okay. Kof pick up one and look through, twisting the tube at the end. After a second, he set it back on the rack, moving to the other side of the stall. He went under the awning, careful of his own floating dolphin, and you joined him. Did you have place like this on your old town? Are you having fun? I don't really like it here. Mungkin aku make conversation sikit lah kan. Kita pun tak nak nampak sangat kita benci dia kan. Okay. Kof blinked at you for a moment and you wondered if you shouldn't have asked. You knew how much he missed that place. Oh, hati tisu lah mamat ni. Not really. You nodded and understanding, looking over at the stall nearby. Ada ketam, ada dolphin, ada shark turtle. While Kof looked at Saint Pails, you were drawn to a table with colourful kitchen laid out on it. There was sewn in the shape of sea creatures, and there was a plaque that read handmade standing proudly in front. Oh, okay, so dia nampak kitchen yang handmade kitchen lah. There was a lot of different types. You saw a dolphin, a shark, a crab, a turtle. You pick the dolphin, shark, crab, turtle. Tadi balloon dah dolphin, takkan kitchen nak dolphin kan? Kita ambil crab lah. Your hand stopped on the crab, claws raised, and a tiny smile on its face. It had a big eyes and little legs, and the fabric was smooth when you pick it up. You had seen a few crabs at the beach before, though they usually scuttled way before you get the chance to look at them closely. Susah lah nak sebut. You like the idea of having a crab all of your own, even if it was just a soft animal. You were instantly enamored. Checking the price though, you heart fell. $6. You didn't know much about money, but you thought that was a lot to spend on one thing. Tak silap aku bapak dia bagi RM10 tadi kan. Kalau aku beli ni RM6, so tinggal RM4 je. Mamat tu mesti angin dia. Dah lah mamat tu berangin punya orang. You rarely had more than a $5 bill to your name. Is that what you want? Huh? Oh, it's $6. I didn't bring any money. It's fine. So macam mana? Walaupun dia nampak macam ni, tapi dia baik hati lah. Dia nak belanja tu. I don't want you to get it for me. Nak jual mahal ke? You don't have to ke? Hooray terus ke? Muka tak bersalah ke? Tak apalah, aku buat macam betul ke? Really. Kuf took the kitchen from your hands, and that was that. He was holding a small yellow bucket for himself too. So aku rasa dia dapat kot baldi pasir tu. My dad told me to. You beam excited at the idea of displaying the kitchen somewhere in your room. It was nice of Kof Dad to let Kof buy something for you too. That you had to remember to thank him next time you saw him. Alright, so aku kena minta terima kasih kat bapak Kof lah. After Kof paid, the two of you stepped out of the store side by side, your balloon dolphin knocking together and spiraling around in the air. You watch Kof hold up his new pail or to his face, examining it too roughly. Hey Kof, yeah? Was your dad always giving people money? Thanks for aku rasa thanks for the kitchen lah. Thanks for the kitchen. Thank my dad. Kof looked further down to the street where different food carts were lined up. He rested his non-cast arm over his stomach and just as he did yours, let out a light growl. You hadn't eaten since breakfast, and after all of this wandering around, you were definitely ready for some lunch. Let's get some food. Yeah. You two wandered around a short while, looking at all the delicacies that were available. Weh, sorry guys, aku punya English bukan aku punya English teruk. Diorang punya ni tak apa-apa tak. Delicacies tu apa benda? Everything looked delicious. Delicious lah, baru betul delicious. And as the different smells, both sweet and salty, waft over to you, your stomach growled even louder. Right? Next. After passing up hot dogs, snow cones, ice cream and pizza, you both agreed on pretzel. Sedap pun pretzel. Kof got something sweet and cinnamony. And you? Got the plain one, get with cheese, sprinkle, chocolate. Aku rasa budak-budak mungkin suka ada sprinkle sikit lah. You lick your lip hungrily as the vendor handed your pretzel over, ready to take a big bite. It had a vanilla coating and 100 colored sprinkled on it, just the way you like it. Your mom didn't like you to eat too much sugar, but this was a special occasion. You found an empty table close enough to the beach that the grief of the sand made terrible noises when you dragged the chairs out to sit down. These balloons are gonna make it hard to eat. Kof placed his bucket on the table as he stared at his still balled up hand that was wrapped around the string. You opened your mouth to agree before an idea hit you. I know. After carefully placing your pretzel somewhere it wouldn't get sandy, you tucked the balloon dolphin out of Kof's hand and tied it in the delicate bow around his wrist. Oh! Kof bounced his arm and down in place, testing the stability of your knot. After watching his balloon jostle around but remain attached, he smiled satisfied. Oi, first time dia senyum. Daripada part 1 sampai part 2, first time dia senyum. Now do mine. He repeated the ritual. Kof struggled somewhat with the cast, restricting his finger on one hand and a string already tangled around the other. Got it. The two of you spend a moment admiring your handiwork. Both hands now free to allow easy munching on your pretzel. You bit into the dohi treat, savoring the taste on your tongue with a smile as you look out over the ocean. After a time you finished your pretzel, you were done before cough. It was boring not having anything to do. You pull a string off your balloon to bring it down to your level. Then you held the dolphin in your hands, manipulating it to make it look like it was jumping through the air. If you turn to face toward the beach, it almost looked like it was swimming in the wave like a real dolphin. A laugh came from your side. When you glanced back at Kof, he had left the remaining part of his pretzel on the wrapper and he was gripping his dolphin too. My name is Meriwether, he's the Prince of Dolphin. Mine is Splash. There's a Star movie. Mine is Cherry, he's actually alien. My name is Sam, they're just a regular dolphin. Aku rasa alien. When no one is looking, she transforms back into her true alien self. She has purple skin and ten eyes. You sighed, wishing you could meet a real life alien. What yours? Kof considered this question, placing the balloons against the table and resting his free arm across it in contemplation. It's a loud pop. With a loud pop, the dolphin exploded into ribbon. Oi? Huh? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. For a second, all Kof did was gape in shock. Like you, then his cheeks puffed up, squinting his eyes, and you saw tears start to glisten. You made a joke, you offered to find Alexander, you offered gifts to the villain. You didn't say, okay lah, kita jadilah kawan yang dia dah belanja kitchen tadi kan, so aku bagilah balloon aku. You can have my balloon instead if you want. Kof looked over you, frowning. I don't want yours. Oh, you felt bad for Kof, but we secretly glad. You really liked the little dolphin and weren't too eager to give it up. Kof spent the rest of the outing sniffling and didn't say much else. The passing of Kof balloons was the last major event of your adventure. So balloon tu meletup in the end dan aku pass dia tak nak. Okay, tak apa. In the end, the two of you headed back late that afternoon. You separated on the beach, and while Kof went straight home with his brand new sand pile in hand, you decided to sit for a while. You watched the wave and the sunset, fiddling with your new keychain. Another summer day was drawing to a close. It had been nice, for the most part. Hopefully there wouldn't be any tears next time. Oh, okay. Alright guys, itulah momen-momen shopping. So aku expect shopping ni lama, setiap momen ni lama, tapi sekejap je lah. Okay, tak apa. Kita try ground up. Alright, let's go. One sweltering summer day, you were in your living room with Kof, listening to the sound of the birds chattering outside the window while you lay across the rug on the floor. Kof that had dropped him off earlier, and your mums had left the two of you along with Lizzie to play among yourself. Lizzie ni kawan antara dorang ni lah. Actually kawan aku, kawan pada Jamie tu, which is aku lah. It had been too hot to go outside in the afternoon, at least according to Mummy, so your sister was starting to get impatient waiting for her golf class that evening. The three of you had trouble finding something fun to do. The beach and the playground were off limits, and you felt that it was too warm for anything like playing with your fuzzy toy animals. Then suddenly, a light came to Lizzie's big brown eyes and her smile spread wide across her face. Having an idea gave her a new wave of energy. So inilah Lizzie. Since we were struck inside, we should be adults. They don't play outdoors. Anyways, they are always inside and telling everybody they are too busy to play. Why? I said why, and it'll be fine. Huh? Do. What do they do inside that we don't? Besides use that phone a lot. Excluding a small half, Lizzie decide to ignore cough. Yang patut kena ignore benda ni. Jamie, what do you think? Do you want to? I don't know. Please, Jamie, when have I ever had a bad idea? Whenever we play with you. Selamba je dia. I wasn't asking you. I'll try, but that sound boring. Okay, I'll say sorry, I have other stuff to do. You keep hesitating. Sekarang ni aku nak kena jaga cough ni ke Lizzie. Sebab Lizzie, si Jamie ni pun dia minat kat Lizzie juga tau sebenarnya. Dia ada crush kat Lizzie ni. So okay lah, aku jaga hati dia. Tapi dalam masa yang sama aku jaga hati cough lah. Sebab cough ni pun dia macam ada masalah kan. Okay, I'll try, but that sounds boring. It's not gonna be, I guarantee. Okay, let's see. Lizzie seems more determined than ever, and you could only sigh. Satisfied with neither of you were about to bail on her, Lizzie thought over her option while you watched. After a few seconds, she clapped her hands together and beamed, apparently having settled on something without asking either of you. Okay, I'm gonna be professional golfer, Jamie, and you and Kof can be a beach volleyball player, a gymnast or tennis player. Why can't we pick up anything we want? Because I have a fun idea, that's why. Wait, dia ni quick control, babe. And we have to play sport as adult? Yep. But there's other kind of sport too. Wah, banyak, boleh main snooker, boleh main macam-macam lagi. It isn't the same. What do you think, Jamie? Don't those choices sound super cool? You wanna be that, huh? I kind of like those. It really doesn't hurt. It sound like a blast. Is there anything else we can be? You nodded. Maybe not. Maybe aku sebab cadangan dia tak berapa menarik lah. Lizzie stomped foot on the ground. Nope, come on, just decided already. Knowing Lizzie wouldn't let this go anytime soon, you sighed. Kof was not impressed with Lizzie's attitude, though he didn't bother talking more about it for now. You thought over the list of possibilities: beach volleyball, gymnastic or tennis. Out of all of them, you prefer to play beach volleyball. If you couldn't spend the afternoon at the beach for real, then you might as well pretend you were there. You could even wear your swimsuit to make it seem more realistic. Although Lizzie probably wouldn't let you run off and do that now that she had you here. Yes, that was clearly the top option. I want to be a volleyball player. Alright. How about you, Kof? I was going to pick volleyball. Uish, baru lah brotherhood. Lizzie threw her hands in the air, making an annoyed sound. You guys can't be the same thing. That's not how it works. You didn't say that. The rule was picking from the list. You can't keep adding more. Lizzie looked at the two of you, then shook her head, resigned to losing his battle, but not to war. Fine, you both volleyball player, but you are on the same team because there's only one. Lizzie ponytail bobbed when she proudly stretched her arms wide. The Olympic team. What? We are Olympic athletes who just compete in the Olympics. Kof didn't seem all that impressed with the announcement. He made a face and adjusted the glasses on his nose. That really specific. Oh, that's what make it fun anyway. Lizzie marched back and forth in front to the both of you, getting lost in her own imagination. I won all gold medals and people are calling me the next Mickey Wright. Siapa Mickey Wright? Who's that? Lizzie stopped on the spot and turned on him, her brown eyes shining with impatience. It doesn't matter if you know who she is. It's a golf thing. Oh. You guys won medals too. Your team plays at silver is more real if we are not all first place. Semua dia jenis aku rasa dia ni yang semua dia nak menang. Semua kena dengar cakap dia. Dan aku rasa aku ada masa kecil-kecil pun aku ada juga kawan yang macam ni. So whatever. Silver sucks. I don't want silver. Okay, I'm okay with that. How can we can do better than silver? What? You powder at Lizzie, unhappy with the decision. Come on lah. Jamie is right. Nampak? Brotherhood. Lot of people lose at the Olympic. Damn's a break. Then you are the one who did it, not me. Aku dah cakap dah, dia ni jenis yang nak menang. Lizzie looked taken aback by Koff's declaration, as though the thought of her losing was completely absurd. No way, it wouldn't make sense. I am already practicing my golf game. She took a golfing stance to make her point, pretending to swing her club and hit an invisible ball. So what kind of house do you want to live in? Koff hadn't changed his mind about winning, but thinking about where he'd live as an adult appealed to him, apparently because he looked back at Lizzie with some of the anger fading. I'm going to live on the beach. Lizzie made a face at him, poking out her tongue. That's kinda boring. We already have that. No, not like the normal houses here with a street on it, right on the sand by the water. Just like that, all the tension was back. You hadn't even had a chance to choose where you would wanna live. That's not very fun or smart, Koff. You can't live on a bunch of sand and shells. But I want to and I will. Aku rasa dia ni beach boy lah. Dia minat macam beach boy. Koff narrowed his eyes at Lizzie, even though she stood half a head taller than him. You didn't give out a list of things to pick from this time, so I'm picking that. Why are we even playing pretend if we can't imagine anything? Jeez! Well, I'm gonna live in a mansion far away from here and far away from you. One with an indoor pool and a place to practice my award-winning golfing. How come you were yelling about mine when your idea is even more impossible? Lizzie's face flushed red, her hands balling into fists and at her side. It is not impossible. It is, and it's better than yours. This agreement always seems to crop up when the two of them were together, and you always felt like you were stuck in the middle. But when it came to the topic at hand this time, you thought you prefer mention being on the beach was cooler. You wanted to agree with Lizzie. Koff was right. You were try of deciding between either of them. So sebab Lizzie pun aku nak try, Koff ni pun aku nak kena jaga hati dia. So aku decline lah dua-dua. You didn't engage with their bickering and instead dream up your own dream house. Yes, which is bilik aku ada. Aku suka duduk kat bandar, apartment, penthouse, party every day. Barulah. Alright. And you weren't going to share your idea with them either. You already knew it was a good one. Yes, betul. Kalau aku takkan share benda-benda ni. Sebab kalau aku share, diorang akan gelak dengan aku. Diorang kata macam ni orang bergaduh. So better aku simpan. You can swim whenever you want it. You can swim whenever you want if you live on the beach. Lizzie ada pool what? We can still swim anytime we want from where we live now. Being a little closer doesn't mean anything, says you. The two of them scowled at each other. You being so unreasonable. You I don't get what you want. This game doesn't make sense. It does. You have to be realistic. I said that, but you are not. You had no idea what to do to make them stop at this point. It seems like the two of them would just keep working each other up as long as they could. Nothing you said so far had kept them from being mad. Thankfully, like a greeting card angel, Mom walked into the room. Lizzie rushed to her, hanging onto the hem of her shirt and poking out her tongue of course. Kejap, aku rasa Lizzie Lizzie, Jamie, it's time to get ready to go. Sorry, you have to leave already, Kof. Dear mommy said she's walk you home so you won't be left in the cold. Jap, Lizzie ni macam kakak dia. Uish, serious ah? Kof was still glaring at Lizzie, his face flushed red with anger. I can go by myself. Aku confused ni Lizzie sebab masa part 1 tu tak silap aku, dia cakap aku ada crush kat Lizzie ni. Tak apa, kita teruskan dulu. Kita find out Lizzie ni sebenarnya siapa. But without giving mom a chance to stop him, Kof stood up and stalked out of the room, shoulder drawn tight. Okay. Worried, mom turned to look down at you and Lizzie. You two were playing nice with our new friend when you... Oh, aku rasa Lizzie ni kakak aku lah. Kalau kakak, buat apa nak tipu? Bagi tahu lah. No, Lizzie and Kof keep yelling at each other. They wouldn't stop fighting about everything. So aku rasa aku baru saja cetuskan Perang Dunia Kedua. Your sister jaw drop. Yes, sorry guys, sorry. So Lizzie ni bukan crush. Lizzie ni kakak dia, babe. Ya Allah, tersilap babe aku. Tapi tak apa, kita teruskan. Your sister jaw drop, looking betrayed as mom put both hands on her hips. Aku rasa itu memang adik-beradik punya kan. Mana ada kita orang nak tipu-tipu. Aku bagi tahu je apa dia buat. Elizabeth, I told you to be kind to him. He's having a hard time right now. Lizzie mouth close up, replaced by a tiny frown. I know I tried, but he was. No, but we both know you can show someone a great time when you put your mind to it. We are going to apologize to Kof and his dad over the phone when he gets home from work tonight. Lizzie hung her head, dragging a foot across the ground in front of her. Okay, mom. Good girl. You caught pieces of Lizzie sucking to herself about how it was his fault too, but it was over. Right, we better get a move on. Let's go, kids. Neolani, where did you leave the car keys? Mom hustled you all out the door, and you noticed during the car ride to golf practice that Lizzie was quieter than usual. She was usually the first one to request which music to listen to in the car, but she didn't say a thing. Your parents noticed she wasn't in a mood to be bothered. They gave her space, and mommy just asked you why you like to listen to what you like to listen to. I picked a favorite song. It was made a car ride. You chose the soundtrack to cool movie you saw a couple months ago. You choose a song you knew Lizzie like. Maybe that would cheer it up. So aku rasa aku dah buat salah kakak aku. So sebagai adik-beradik, tak apalah, aku pilih lagu yang mungkin boleh membahagiakan dia, yang boleh membuatkan dia happy. Sebab dia tengah monyok tu. Kena marah, babe. You were happy to see it brightened her up right away, and she started singing along with you. Soon enough, her bad mood was thing of the past. See? That's a sibling, man. When the car ride was over, you spent the twilight hour watching Lizzie hit things with other girls her age. You didn't know how much about golf, but you could tell that she really liked it. So you sat with your moms and tried to puzzle it out. It was nice sitting outside after being cooped out in the house all day, and you stretch out your legs to let the last few minutes of sun warm your skin. When the sun was finally out of sight, dipping behind the horizon, you all got ready to leave. Instead of going straight home, your mom took the family out to dinner. You went to a restaurant you had all been going to ever since you could remember. The whole afternoon had been a bunch of shouting you hadn't been able to stop, but you could kind of tell that all this helped Lizzie be less angry. The car ride home was quiet, with only the radio providing escape from silence. Lizzie had been in better spirit now, but the closer you got to your neighborhood, the more she wiggled in her seat and forward out the window. She knew what was coming when you all got back home. Clearly she was dreading it. Oh, diorang balik, aku rasa diorang kena minta maaf dekat bapak si Kof. Soon enough, mom was turning into your street. Then reversing into the driveway. Once they cut the ignition, it was dead silent. No one spoke, only unbuckled their seatbelt and opened their doors. Lizzie was the last one out. Once everyone was inside and done taking off their shoes, she propped her hands on her hips.
So,
Now then, Mr. Holden's car is in his driveway, so she should back from work. That's a good news, isn't Elizabeth? You and Cuff can hash things out before the day's done. Izzy didn't complain or put out a fight. Her head ducked, so she didn't have to meet anyone's eyes. She nodded once. Good, let's move this to the kitchen. Mom went over to the house phone, then rest of you following her behind her. Mommy put a gentle hand on Lizzie's shoulder as they walked side by side. You watched them from the back. This was only happening because you told on Lizzie. Gua terpaksa bye. Sebab kalau aku tak bagi tahu, Kov ni dia akan simpan dendam kat Lizzie ni. So bila Kov datang nak main dengan aku dengan Lizzie, so dia akan jadi tak sedap lah. And aku tak menyesal you felt a little guilty, but you had betrayed your sister. You hadn't like doing it but had to. So macam aku cakap, aku tak suka nak buat tapi aku terpaksa. But it was a fault for doing it in the first place. Okay lah, sedikit kejam lah. Being a tatale being a tatale didn't feel good. Being a tatale didn't feel good, and you wouldn't want someone else to tell your mom everything you did. Still, your mom had us directly, and you wanted to be a liar even less. The four of you stood around the kitchen in a loop side square. All eyes were on Lizzie, who kept her gaze on her feet. You remember the number of Cove's house, don't you, honey? Lizzie jerked her head in under the knot, sullen. Without further prompting, she stepped forward and she began to dial. Mom reached over and pressed a button on the base. Suddenly, you could hear the phone ringing. She turned on the speaker. The phone rang a couple of times, then stopped. Mr. Holland's warm voice came through to the other end. Irving, Holland residence? Lizzie looked over at Mommy, unsure, then nodded encouragingly. Hi, Mr. Holden. It's Lizzie. Can I talk to Carl?
Absolutely.
Lizzie Doje. Nama Lizzie Doje ni teruk lah pula. Jamie Doje sedap sikit, tapi Lizzie Doje ni macam tak apalah. What a surprise, but of course you can say hey to the boy. He sounded cheery as usual, so though definitely meant it when he said it was a surprise. You thought hard when you were sure that your sister had never called Cove house before. Mom spoke up before Mr. Holden or Lizzie could say anything more. Her arms were crossed over her chest, her lip pursed. Hi Cliff, Neolani, Jamie and I here too. Good evening, we are sorry to bother you so late. You spoke up to say hello to. You said nothing to go date. Okay lah, menyampuk sikit lah. Kita menyampuk sikit lah. Hey Mr. Holden. Itu suara Jamie. Hey Mr. Holden. The gang's all here, huh? Is something that matter? His voice grew a bit concerned. Mommy was quick to reassure him. No, well, yes, but it's going to be okay. Lizzie and Koff got into a bit of a fight today. We were hoping that the two of them could talk and make up. Is this a good time for you and Koff?
What?
Or fight? Koff didn't tell me anything about that when I came home. It does explain the funk he's been in tonight. He's chuckled lightly despite that it didn't seem like her really thought it was funny. Anyway, it's good. You didn't catch us at a bad time. I'll go grab him for you. There was some shuffling on the other end. He must not have gone far because you could still hear him calling out, Cove, there's someone on the phone for you. After a bit of silence, there was more muffled talking from Kof Dad. Come on, but Lizzie called just so she could talk to you. It took a bit of back and forth, though the conversation seemed one-sided since you couldn't hear Kof properly. Eventually, Kof took the phone from his dad.
Hi.
Hello. You open your mouth, only your mommy to catch your eye and shake her head softly. You frowned, but they didn't say anything. Hey, it's Lizzie. Yeah, I know, Dad told me. Koff's tone was defensive. Lizzie turned to Mom, scowling. Winston looked from her door. Winston looked from her door, and Lizzie turned away.
Sorry.
I just called to say I'm sorry for not playing nice with you today. I won't do it again. Lizzie's eyes were downcast, her voice low. You couldn't tell she felt uncomfortable apologizing to Koff in front of everyone. So, she was still being genuine, but about feeling bad. Koff must have realized that too, because he sighed quietly. I want gold. Lizzie was momentarily stunned, silent by the demand. You could understand why he did it. You had wanted gold too. Lizzie, you win the gold. Okay, I guess I'm sorry too. A sign of relief washed over everyone at his acceptance of the apology. Mom uncrossed her arms while Mommy shoulders relaxed. Lizzie's eyebrows raised up. You wondered if she thought that he's refused her apology. Dad, can I get off the phone now? You couldn't see him, but it was obvious that Koff felt awkward about the situation. He had come off uncomfortable the entire time, really. Yeah, you can go back to your room if you want, but sure to say goodbye first though. Bye Lizzie. Bye. With that said, Koff must have handed the phone to his dad and left since Mr. Holden spoke up.
That's a relief.
All's well that ends well, as they say. Thanks for arranging this. I'm sure he appreciates it. As Mom replied, Lizzie tugged on Mommy's hand to catch her attention. Can I go now too?
Good job.
Sure, sweetie. Thank you very much for apologizing to to Koff. Mom flashed a brief smile at Lizzie and nodded her agreement. Given permission to leave, Lizzie scurried off toward the stairs. She seems to be feeling much better with the incidents behind her. Mom and Mommy returned to the phone. Taking it off the speaker, they continued talking to Mr. Holden. You couldn't tell what about. You were glad that was end of it all. Lizzie and Koff might not get along, but and probably still won't. But they weren't mad at each other anymore. Mom and Mommy weren't upset either. Everything was finally back to normal. With that thought, you retreat to your own room with a spring in your step. Alright guys, so untuk video kali ni part 2 ni aku rasa cukup lah. Kita go through 2 moment, which is shopping and growing up. So kalau korang rasa korang nak ikut follow apa yang terjadi selepas ni, sebab yang 2 ni pun aku rasa banyak agak drama diorang ni. Ada yang ajak main bergaduh, yang lepas tu pergi shopping pun merajuk, belon meletup, jumpa magician. So aku rasa menarik tak untuk kali ni punya moment. So untuk next part kita akan go through maybe Long Days and Castle and Fireflies. Kita cuba habiskan untuk childhood punya step ni lah. So apa-apa pun, thank you for watching this video, and aku pun undur diri dulu lah untuk part 2 ni, and harap jumpa korang dekat part 3. Alright, jangan lupa subscribe, like and share Doja Gaming, and see you soon. Bye bye.